Greetings, this is Marguerite Rigoglioso of Seven Sisters Mystery School, and I've been reflecting on the word integrity, especially at this time when apparently there is such a spectacle in the public airwaves going on right now over integrity and the lack of it. As I've been writing my book on Mary, I've been studying various Greek words that appear in her Gospels, and I'm struck by the fact that so many Greek words have multiple meanings. I thought, how interesting. And then when I looked up integrity, I realized, oh goodness, what is integrity really? And it has multiple meanings as well. So, according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, the first definition of integrity is a firm adherence to a code of especially moral or artistic values. So, it means incorruptibility as regards a code of ethics or behavior. But the second definition becomes a little bit more interesting. It says, an unimpaired condition, soundness. So integrity is an unimpaired condition. It is sound. It does not have impairments or wounds. And the third definition is even more interesting. And this relates to the integral energy of the word integrity. And this definition is the quality or state of being complete or undivided. In other words, completeness. So integrity is incorruptibility, soundness, and completeness. And the way I look at it, the direction of the definition should go from the third to the first, because what I'm receiving is that incorruptibility is only possible when there is an unimpaired condition, and an unimpaired condition is only possible when there is a state of being complete or undivided or whole. So, as we are looking at people whose integrity we may be questioning, I bring the question back to myself. What is my own level of integrity? And this, I would not be able to call myself incorruptible, or even sound, or even complete. But what I would say is that I'm looking at how to become, how to enter or embody a state of completeness or undividedness or wholeness. So this is the basis of integrity, is a sense of wholeness, completeness. So if we want soundness and if we want incorruptibility, we need to begin with wholeness. And so people who we are looking at that do not seem to have integrity are lacking wholeness. And how do we become whole? We become whole through a connection with what is greater than ourselves and a connection with ourselves. So with what is greater than ourselves and with ourselves. So many of us are fragmented, feel fragmented, or have been or have felt fragmented because of the generational nature of the trauma and the energies that are upon the earth right now that tend to stimulate and trigger a lot of wounding and then get passed on from person to person and parent to child and generation to generation. So we are in a place of reversing the wounding, which is what leads to the division and the lack of wholeness. And then there is the connection with that which is greater than self, the divine energy, divine intelligences, universal wholeness. So a lot of us are looking at what's going on in the media and just hanging our heads and wringing our hands and just saying, oh my goodness, what is happening? What is happening with this world? What is happening with certain characters who are operating in this world? And it stimulates, it can stimulate an anger or a confusion, or for certain people, a defensiveness. And I think that at times like this, it is important to continue to go back to what can make you whole? What can make me whole? There's only so much we can control as we watch this theatrical spectacle. But what can make you whole? What can help you return to or develop integrity? And the sense of integrity in the more conventional sense of doing what is morally right. Doing what is morally right. Doing what is upstanding. Adhering to ethics. Having a sense of high character. These are all noble things, and the hope of moving into greater integrity or having greater integrity is a very noble one. So if we are seeing and sensing and feeling a lack of integrity in our world, how we can respond is to double up on our own integrity. Where are we in integrity? Where are we not in integrity? And this is, the other day I was starting to get triggered by healthcare planning that I had to do, moving to a new healthcare plan where I'm living, and being told that, well, this doctor has a 5-month waiting list and that doctor has a, and we're thinking with Marguerite, my God, a person could be dead by the time they could be seen. What gives with this U.S. healthcare? So, because I was feeling deeply frightened, my behavior was not as elevated as it could have been. And I've noticed that type of activity happening on numerous phone calls where there's an anonymous person on the other end working for a corporation or an organization, and you're trying to get something done and you're getting more and more agitated. That's not incorruptibility, soundness, or wholeness or completeness. It's operating out of a sense of fear, which comes from traumatic events that have happened in one's life. So we can use this time of the great unintegrity, let's call it, to look at our own integrity. How are we responding? And what will it take us to be more whole so that we can respond in a sound or incorruptible way? How can we be trustworthy? I think a person who has integrity is also trustworthy, and I look at myself. Have I been trustworthy to various people in my life? Starting with myself. Becoming trustworthy is definitely a road to be on. So all of this that is getting stimulated in the public domain can allow us to look in the mirror or see it as a reflection of what might be going on with ourselves, and how can we amplify our integrity level this week? How can we become aware when we're in integrity, when we're not? When we are paying a bill late, that's out of integrity. When we are being forceful, even rude to a clerk or somebody on the other end of the phone. When are we telling a white lie, even to try to save somebody's pride or avoid a conflict? How can we have a conflict with integrity? Because having integrity, as we know, doesn't mean that everything's always going to go well, and that there's going to be no conflict, no triggers whatsoever, but it means that you respond to the triggers with a sense of completeness, wholeness, soundness. So this is an invitation to ask yourself, what one thing could you do to step into greater integrity this week? And it may not be being nicer or not trying to get away with something. It may be, how can I heal that place in myself just a little bit more that is not feeling whole, that is not feeling complete, that is not feeling sound? How can I be gentler with myself, even as I am feeling furious or triggered or fearful or defensive with what I'm seeing in the outside world? How can I just turn inward and say, what can I do in my world to help raise the integrity level of myself and therefore the environment around me? So I hope this has been helpful as we look at this issue. We are all in this soup together, and perhaps some of the things that have come through here today can assist you in doing this deeper level healing that we're all being called to do as we see things being exposed and blowing up on the collective level. Many blessings to you, and may you find another notch of wholeness in your life today. Blessed be.